All right, welcome in 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray with you tonight for a full show till 11 o'clock. Oh, there's a lot to talk about, everybody. Of course, we'll get into the Celtics playing Game 3 of the NBA Finals up 2-0. And the news that we got today regarding Kristaps Porzingis will certainly start there tonight. Patriot stuff, OTAs continue. There's also Brady night tomorrow night. Those are your main topics throughout the night, and you can call in at 617-779-0985. You can also find us on YouTube. I just popped in. I see Einbein already in there. What's up, buddy? But you just go to youtube.com/thesportshub, and you can download it on your phone, your iPad. I watched postgame the other night with Sean Silver and Nick Cattles from my couch on my television, and it was just as easy as that. So again, the phone number is 617-779-0985. Last night, Skaz, you weren't here, but there was a lot of talk about Tatum and Brown and who's better, and that's just not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do it. Instead, I wanted to talk about what the real reason why the Celtics have won this series, or winning this series, and have really been successful throughout the playoffs, and that's defense. They're winning because they play defense. And it's not sexy. It is boring, but holding the Mavericks under 100 points in 2 games, it's very good for a team that's put up a ton of points, one of the better offensive teams in the league, and specifically since the trade deadline in the playoffs. One of the reasons for that is Kristaps Porzingis. Right? For all the talk of Brown and Tatum and who's better, the reason why they won Game 1 was Kristaps Porzingis, and the reason why they won Game 2 was Drew Holiday. Those were the 2 moves that they made to support Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And now the news today, even though after Game 2, Porzingis says he'll die on the court, we get an actual transparent report from the Celtics, which, by the way, blew my mind. You know, how many times do you actually get that transparency when it comes to the Celtics? But we found out that it's not just the calf on the right side that Porzingis is dealing with. He injured himself with 3:27 left in the fourth quarter. But yet, I remember later on that game, he had a huge block, right? He was still moving around despite limping on the court. But the prognosis today, not good for one Kristaps Porzingis, who, and I'll read you the press release that came out, and I just couldn't believe how transparent it was. But Celtics center Kristaps Porzingis suffered a torn medial retinaculum, allowing dislocation of the posterior tibialis tendon in his left leg. I'm not going to do that. The injury is unrelated to the right calf injury, and after consultation with numerous specialists regarding this rare injury, his availability for upcoming games will be determined day to day. So I took that as, okay, he injured himself. Here it is, Kristaps Porzingis, the human injury report. And I mean that as, the guy's a great player, but let's just be honest, he's been injured his entire career. And for the last 2 seasons playing in Washington, he's been in Siberia, and he's been able to play more games. He's really one of the better offensive and defensive pick-and-roll defenders in the league when healthy. There's always that asterisk when it comes to Kristaps Porzingis. There's people who've said that he couldn't stay the whole year healthy, and, well, here we are. He made it through the whole entire regular season, gets hurt in the first round of the playoffs, takes 40 days off, and, well, now you don't know if you're going to see Kristaps Porzingis, and now you got to think about his future a little bit here. And I know a lot of people are just focusing on the series, and that's what we'll do tonight. I am now starting to think that things and momentum might be leading the Mavericks' way. I stand by my take that the Celtics will win in 5. I stand by my take that they'll Missoula ball and play defense and win the championship. I believe that they will win the championship. So I want that out there to start the show tonight. I think the Celtics win. I still think they win in 5. But a lot of things happened in Game 2 that favored the Mavericks. The Celtics shot terribly. They had turnovers. It was bad. But Dallas just couldn't take the game. They couldn't take it. The Celtics left it open for Dallas, and they couldn't do anything about it. And I credit the Celtics for that. I certainly do. When the betting line came out, it was +2 Dallas for game 3 on the road. The Celtics are 9-0 on the road. Right? Jason Tatum is one of the best playoff performers on the road as far as points per game. So you would think, all right, here you go. Haven't lost at home. Tatum shoots better there. They'll wrap this thing up. The Porzingis injury is a major one for the Celtics. Do I think they can win without him? Yes. Do I think they dominate without him? Absolutely. But I've heard from a few doctors today. I was reading from Doc Flynn earlier. Happened in the third quarter of the game. He tore his flexor retin column on his inner ankle. It's a small band of tissue that holds a bunch of things. It can be taped together. It's painful. Whatever. I won't give you the doctor's report on it. Do you think Kristaps Porzingis is going to play in Game 3? Do you think he's done for the series? Do you think he's done for the season? And what does this mean for his future? It's hard for me to think he'll come back. I know he wants to be out there. Joe Mazzulla said it's out of his hands. This is a major blow to the Celtics. It's a major blow. And I've been very confident in this team all year long. I have watched their growth, their maturity level, etc. It's all been there. It's all there. But I think Dallas should have stolen Game 2, and they didn't, so I credit the Celtics for that. And now they're going to come home. Their bench is going to play better. They're favored in the game, and the betting line is moved, which I'll give you coming up in just a little bit. But when I say that defense is the reason why the Celtics are where they are, a lot of it is because of Kristaps Porzingis. They're a much better defensive basketball team with him on the court. And I'll give you the numbers and the stats to back it up. I can sit here all night and tell you, oh, they're better on defense than they are with Porzingis. Duh, Joe, duh. No, the numbers are significant. And now when you go on the road, the Celtics bench players, how do they play? Not as good. The numbers show that their bench isn't as good on the road. This is a series again. After Game 2, I thought this thing was pretty much in the bag. Now, concerned. I still think they win it. I still think they win in 5. But it got a lot harder with the news today regarding Kristaps Porzingis. They've played well without him, right? They've played so well without him. They need 2 more wins. It's not going to be easy. I have a theory on what the Celtics should do with Porzingis, and I'll share that with you coming up after the break. But right now, when I think of this Celtics team, this is the last thing they need, right? Jason Kidd was trying to pull moves, trying to say that Jaylen Brown was better than Jason Tatum was desperation. This here, the Celtics, we've said it all year long. The Celtics' toughest opponent is themselves. Can they now win 2 games potentially without Kristaps Porzingis, or will they hurt Kristaps Porzingis? Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. I'm concerned. How's some of you guys feeling? We'll certainly get into that, and we got plenty of other stuff on the show tonight. I'll give you the numbers on the plus-minus with Porzingis on the court and off. It's almost worse than when Jason Tatum off the court. Could you believe that? So I'll tease that for you. And again, we're here till 11 o'clock tonight. I'm Joe Murray. Skaz is back as well. We'll get his thoughts on everything happening with the Celtics coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. More Joe Murray on the way.
Yeah, it's his job to fight like hell to put himself in the best possible position to feel as good as he can. But we're not going to let him compromise himself. And so that's really been it. It's just to say, hey, we need you. Do everything you can. But at the end of the day, we got your back, and we're going to make sure we put you in the best position possible.
How likely is it that he'll go tomorrow?
I have no idea.
Before, whether it was Porzingis versus old team or Kyrie versus Boston or even just the Celtics in general. I mean, now it seems like it's Brown versus Tatum, and now it's the injury of Porzingis. Which, by the way, if you didn't know this, Kristaps Porzingis, since being traded from Dallas, has never played there. He's never played in Dallas. So this is now a interesting opportunity. Will he? Does he? That seems to be the question. I just want to throw this out to everybody. Hey, I know we're all locked in on Banner 18. I know we're locked in on can the Celtics finish the job. Has anybody thought about the extension that Porzingis has signed this offseason? And the future for him? I think about that. And I get it. You want him out there. Everybody wants him out there. But if he does go out there, and let's say it's an Achilles, let's say it's something that happened to Kevin Durant or players in the past that had this injury. Do people want that? And do you want a lumbering? And I know he's a great player and size and all that, and probably can still has the ability. But do you want to see him out there? I get it. You're in the finals. You'll do whatever. He said he'll die on the court. He's going to try. It's out of his hands, obviously. But do you, the people, want to see him out there? Are you now thinking about the future with this guy? I am. I just don't know if he can physically do it. He's got the skill. No doubt about it. But how's it going to look when he's going up and down the court, or can he play on the pick and roll still, and can he still do things? That's going to be the big question when it comes to the Celtics. So phone number here is 617-779-0985. So here are some of the numbers that I wanted to bring up regarding Porzingis and his injury. There was no concern after game 2. So nobody was concerned, right? But then we get the prognosis today. Interesting. What I would do is skip him for game 3, and if he's at all feeling fine, play him on Friday night. That gives him 5 days to rest. A lot of people think they need Porzingis to win this. I think they should win it without him, being up 2-0. I mentioned game 1, Porzingis was the difference. Game 2, Drew Holiday was. So the 2 additions that Brad Stevens made this year helped them win games. The Dallas big guys were their strong suit, right? Well, through 2 games in Boston, they've struggled. And a lot of it's been because of Kristaps Porzingis. They go back home now. They do their thing. They get their momentum. Do you now see the Dallas bigs start to play better? And just, will Dallas play better at home? Well, they're favored in Vegas. They're favored being the home team. You have to assume Kyrie Irving bounces back, and history says that he will. In 2016, he was shot poorly in the finals and then had an epic final 4 or 5 games. So he's done it in the past. Can he do it against the Celtics team? That's a big question. And the Celtics now, let's just face it, for everyone who's talked about Jason Tatum, or as last night we got calls that he's been pathetic and terrible and all those things. Well, now you're going to get more scoring out of Jason Tatum if Kristaps Porzingis isn't playing. That's just a fact. And if you look up the numbers, Porzingis has been outstanding on the road as a scorer this year. And, they're going to have to lean on him a little bit more. They're just going to. And I get your MVP odds coming up in a little bit. But Jason Tatum has a couple of games to certainly rewrite what's happened with his offensive shooting over the last couple of games. Well, let me give you these numbers here on Porzingis. The Celtics are plus 22 with him on the court. That's pretty good, right? A plus 22 with Porzingis on the court. When he's off the court, they're even. 0. So, clearly they're much better with Kristaps Porzingis on the court. Missoula, as you heard, he's doing any and everything he can to be ready. It's a serious injury. Mazzulla said the Celtics have taken the decision to play away from Porzingis. He also said he has no idea if Porzingis will go tomorrow and repeats that the decision is out of Porzingis' hands. Said it's his job to fight like he'll get back. He didn't see when it happened. I don't know if you've pulled that up at all, Skaz. I kind of was curious if Grandy said anything on the broadcast with 3:27 to go, but Kristaps Porzingis did talk about if playing could make his injury worse. His quote, I don't know the specifics. That's something I'll leave to the medical staff, and I can go or no. From my side, like I said, nothing is going to stop me unless I'm told I'm not allowed to play. Will the Celtics tell Porzingis they'll let him play? And when it's game 3, why would you play him? Wouldn't you give him the couple more days and play on Friday night? If he can even play at all. Concern, certainly, when it comes to the Celtics big man going forward. Skaz, what did you think of the injury? I didn't think it was... I thought it was lumbering. Lumbering? Is that the word? Lumbering? In the second quarter. Oh, sorry, in the second half, in the fourth quarter. But would you play him?
Great save by P.J. Washington, and Porzingis is clearly hobbling as he goes back to play offense.
Yeah, so Grandy was right on top of it as usual. But, yeah, I mean, I don't think you need him. Game 3, the Celtics have been great on the road. They've showed they can be great without Porzingis. If it's something he can't re-injure or make worse, then yeah, stick him back out there, let him play, shoot him up, whatever it takes. It's the NBA Finals, but I don't think you see him tomorrow night. Just the wording of the injury, the way they've played without him. Horford's been phenomenal. They know they can win without him. I think Jay Stu tweeted out they're like 30-5 this season without Porzingis. So I know it's the NBA Finals, but it's I don't think it's do or die, without Porzingis. I think they can still win the title without him. They've shown they can beat just about anybody without him, including Dallas. So, yeah, it's terrible. It's not what you want as a Celtics fan, but you're up 2-0. You have Tatum, Brown, Horford, Holiday, White. Like, this isn't an excuse to lose the series. If they lose tomorrow night, yeah, things get a little tight, but I still expect them to win it all.
Couple of people in the chat, I'm buying. Celtics are great on the road. They went through the first 3 rounds, all without KP. I'm not even slightly worried. That's where I'm a little different here. I'm slightly worried. Momentum. But momentum, listen, the Celtics won game 2, and they played awful. Awful.
That's kind of where I am, too, where, like, the Celtics have not played their best game yet. Tatum has been pretty awful shooting the ball in this series. I think that's just obvious at this point. I'm not going to say he's been awful offensively because I think he brings so much outside of the shooting, but he's been awful shooting the ball. And I think this team, more than anything, this playoff run has been, we want to win one for Al Horford, and now Al Horford is going to be at the forefront. They're going to lean on Al Horford again. I just posted an article, Oh,
really? Over at 985thesportshub.com. What was it?
Celtics are going to, they need to rely on Al Horford again. He's been there every single time they've needed to rely on him this postseason and regular season when Porzingis has gone down. So it's just, it's not all on Al Horford, but the Celtics are, because of Brad Stevens, because of how he built the roster, they are built to withstand injuries like this, and Al Horford is as good a guy as any in the league that you'd want to have in that spot. He's as hungry as it gets. He wants this more than anybody, and the team wants to win it for him. So, yeah, the Porzingis thing sucks, but it's not a death blow or anything like that. The Celtics are built to win when one of their guys goes down or, one of their guys has an off shooting night. That's why they're the best team in the league. That's why they've lost 2 games in the playoffs. So, yeah, it's a blow, but I don't think it's anything more than that.
Oh, I'm just curious about the mental aspect of this basketball team.
Well, that's why I think the Horford thing is so huge. If Horford's not here, I think it's maybe a little different, but I almost think they can rally. Jalen's relationship with Porzingis, the team's relationship with Al Horford, it's a rallying cry. Like, they're underdogs in Game 3 on the road. Use that. Everyone's telling you how bad Tatum is. Porzingis is hurt. You can't win it without Porzingis. They've shown all year that they can win when Tatum struggles shooting the ball, and they can win when Porzingis isn't healthy. Just do it again.
What I mean by pressure is, will Jason Tatum now try to shoot more? Like, will he...
I mean, he's already leading the team in field goal attempts, so...
No, but he's I think he's understood that he's being double, triple teamed at times, and
he's shooting the ball a lot.
Yeah, but
he averaged 19 shots in the regular season. He shot 22 shots last night. I don't think he's taking a back seat, as some people have said. He's trying to shoot. He's just sucking at it right now.
But do you think it's added now? Like,
no.
Do you think he'll have fallaways? And
I think if added, maybe he has 24 shots tomorrow night. But I don't think we're going to see a Carmelo Anthony or Kobe 30, 35 shot night. Something like that. I think Tatum and Brown are both past that. This is the growth. This is the maturity. They understand that, Tatum's still going to take a lot of shots. He's your best player. He should take a lot of shots, but he's not doing the hero ball that, was so frustrating the last couple of years. So I do think there's more responsibility on Tatum, but I don't think it's just on shooting the ball.
That's where I go. I go with the mental aspect of it. I think this team physically is better. I think they've matured. They've checked every box. They've showed growth. But now, Porzingis down. Can they do it again? In the NBA Finals on the road. It's a big stage. We're going to talk to Noa Dalzell coming up in just a little bit. Covers the NBA for Celtics blog. Does a great job over there. Down in Dallas. Heard from everybody today. Porzingis. Heard from Joe Mazzulla. We'll get her thoughts on the NBA Finals coming up next. But first, let's get the Sports Hub headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, the news today. Kristaps Porzingis. Tomorrow night, right here on the Sports Hub, Celtics lead the series 2-0, but the news today regarding Kristaps Porzingis, it's got me questioning the momentum and where the momentum is in the series. Let's go to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline right now, and we will welcome in Noa Dalzell, who works over at Celtics Blog, covers the Celtics. I believe you're out in Dallas. Is that correct, Noah?
Yep, that's correct. Calling at you from American Airlines.
So, all right. So, I got to ask you, I feel like maybe the momentum in the series with this news might shift a little bit based off the Celtics shooting 25%, having all the turnovers. Dallas couldn't steal the game. Celtics did enough in the end. But do you feel a momentum shift or things confident up 2-0?
I don't think so. I think the team is feeling really confident, but they're also very focused. And that's been what's really stood out to me, is that they're not feeling like content or comfortable with this 2-0 lead. And a lot of that comes from the fact that Kyrie Irving, who's come back from a 0-2 lead or 0-2 deficit on the other side, is who they're facing. And Drew Holiday, who's also come back from a 0-2 lead deficit, is also in his locker room. And so I don't think that the Porzingis injury is enough to take the momentum out of the Celtics, just because he has not been here for this playoff run. I think they always knew he was a question mark for the finals, whether he was 100%, whether he was going to be able to deliver at a high level. Honestly, I kind of saw him in games 1 and 2 as kind of a bonus, but I don't think they need him to be able to put this team away.
Yeah, you mentioned they don't need him. Some of the numbers are staggering with him on the court, not on the court. They're a plus 22 with him on the court. They're even without him, so, I mean, it's significant. And they've been here now because of their defense, right? Holding teams under 100 points. This season, they're 24-0 when they do that. So now what do? They stick to their starting five, but who's now next up off the bench if Porzingis can't play?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the plus-minus differential with Porzingis during these 2 games has been quite substantial, and I would say it matches with the eye test as well, just as far as his defensive impact and the burst that he's been able to provide from a scoring standpoint. First of all, you're going to see a bigger load on Al Horford. They've been able to manage his minutes quite well over the last few games, and he plays better when he's not playing 40 minutes a night. He has fresher legs. He's more likely to hit his shot. So that's one of the negatives of this injury, is the fact that you're likely going to see Al take a much bigger load, and then you also only have 1 game between games 3 and 4. It's the first time in the series that that's the case, and so that doesn't help Al either. But I think that's going to be the bulk of those minutes is going to be just an increased load on him, and then you're probably going to see Luke Kornet for a couple of minutes, even if it's 8-9 minutes, probably nothing super substantive. But I think you have to go to your bench for a little bit of additional support. And from everything that we've seen during this playoff run, during the season, I think that Joe Mazzulla trusts Luke Kornet over Xavier Tillman, over any of the other bigs on the bench, just because of how familiar he is with the system, how versatile he is, kind of just as far as understanding the Celtics defensive schemes, really, I think more than anybody else. Xavier got here in the middle of the season. But yeah, I don't think we're going to see anybody else any farther than that.
Yeah, Tillman was probably the guy I would think. He's played Dallas, played in the Western Conference in the past, and but we haven't seen the Luke Kornet yet. So good point on that one, Noah. So Joe Mazzulla today basically said they're going to take the decision to play out of Kristaps Porzingis' hands. What are you feeling? Like we've heard from doctors, right? You've probably been on Twitter and seeing people give their expert opinions. Right. He wants to be out there. We all know that, and he said he'd die out there. Do you think he's going to play?
It's really close. My intuition tells me no, or if he does, he's going to be very limited. But again, everybody that spoke today said they're optimistic, that he's in good spirits. They all know, everybody said he's doing everything he can to play tomorrow. So by no means is this one of those injuries where he's out for the series definitively at this point. But from what I've read online, and different doctors have their different opinions, and obviously I've never heard of this injury. I think 34 people have had it officially on WebMD. So if there's not a big sample to draw from, I don't see a world where he's able to bounce back so quickly and play at the level that he was playing in games 1 and 2. And in my eyes, if he's playing, but he's super limited and nothing like what we saw in the first 2 games, he's probably better off not being out there, because the last thing you want is him to be a liability. So I believe him when he says he's going to do everything to be out there. I also know that he didn't necessarily want to sit as much as he did during the regular season, and his mentality was always in the playoffs. He's kind of 50-50 calls, I'm going to always play. And so if it does come down to it, I think he's going to do everything he can. But yeah, it's very clear the decision is not in his hands, and I don't think it's going to be a matter of pain tolerance, because I think if that's the case, then he'll be out there.
All right, we're talking with Noa Dalzell. You can check out her work. You do a great job on Twitter. Skaz has been like, hey, who's this Noa Dalzell? Let's get her on the show. So here you are live from the airport out in Dallas, and you can check out her work over at Celtics blog. So someone has to step up now, and a lot of the talk's been Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and who's better and with Jason Kidd, etc. I don't care who's better in the end, to be honest with you, if they win. But do you think this is now added pressure on both of them with Kristaps Porzingis, and do you think they're ready for that challenge?
It's added pressure on everybody. I think he serves as a relief valve for them, and part of why he was acquired was for teams like Miami that play that zone. That he's kind of a cheat code for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. That being said, I think Jaylen Brown right now in this series is getting whatever he wants to get. He's been so effective driving downhill. I think Tatum, if they continue to double him the way that he has, and he continues to make the right pass, like whether or not Porzingis is on the court, I think he has an advantage over the defense, and he's struggled so much during the series, offensively, just hitting his layups, three-pointers, whatever. And even so, obviously, they're in this position. So the singular person that this puts the most pressure on is Al Horford, just because the numbers are so clear that he just does better when he's not playing the entire game. But you have to get his points from somewhere, right? So everybody has to hit a few more shots. Everybody has to step up a little bit. I don't think it's one of those things where it's one guy. And Tatum and Brown, they're always going to have the most pressure, just because at the end of the day, they're the two superstars. Drew Holiday has talked about it. He said the pressure that I have on me is nothing like they have on them. But the key with this team, a lot of times people ask me, like, who do you think is going to have a big night tomorrow? The truth is, like, you just never know, because every night it's somebody else. I think that's what makes them so hard to stop. So maybe it's Derek White. Maybe Derek White scores 35 tomorrow, and that's who steps up, right? Like, it could be anybody. And during this playoff run, it's been different guys at different moments. And this just ensures that somebody has to step up tomorrow. And if he's not available, then it won't be Porzingis.
Kyrie Irving has struggled. I credit Drew Holiday for a lot of that. He's basically eliminated him. But Kyrie Irving did talk today about his mindset. Could you kind of share what he said at the podium today and regarding Game 3?
Yeah, Kyrie Irving has been a very interesting interview throughout this entire series. He's super reflective at the podium. I think he's changed quite a bit from the years that media remembers him in Boston, and at least the way he presents. And he really spoke about he has unwavering confidence in himself and in this team. And he referenced 2016 a number of times. I think everybody's thinking about it. He was a part of the greatest comeback in finals history. And it's going to take a comeback of that level to beat the Celtics team, because, again, he was going up against a historically great team in the 2016 Warriors. They were down 0-2, they were down 3-1, and he referenced a couple of times now that not only were they down, but he didn't play well in those first two games, just as he hasn't had here. So I think at his standpoint, like, that's a reference point. It's evidence that this can be done and that he has a co-star like him. It's not LeBron, but Luka certainly is capable of having a tremendous impact in this game and in this series. So I think that's the confidence that he's trying to instill in his teammates. And the role players have been, I think, the biggest drop off for Dallas from how it's been the rest of the playoff run. They just have not been able to hit open shots, and they didn't even look close in Dallas. I mean, air balls, shots that were way off. They looked completely rattled by the moment, and they're going to do a lot better at home. And I think he's doing everything he can to get those guys feeling comfortable and confident going into Game 3.
So Luka Doncic was questionable going into Game 2. He was on fire early on in the game, and they somewhat wore him down. What's this report? He's taking cortisone shots now before the game for multiple injuries that he has?
I know he has been listed with 3 different things: the knee, the ankle, the chest. I don't know about the specifics of the cortisone shots. He said today, they asked him for kind of an injury update, and he said, "I'm doing good. I'm not going to share any specifics," kind of like smiled, but didn't get into any details. So I don't even know right now from the 3 injuries what's the thing that's the most substantive. He didn't seem to be like walking around in pain the way that he did the other night when we were here at practice today. But he also didn't do anything in the 30 minutes that practice was open to the media. He was like just shooting free throws and like standing around. So we didn't see him get it, even just run around or anything. But I think he's going to definitely play tomorrow, just as I felt before the last game. And how big of a factor the injuries are is, it's hard to tell. He's been hobbled this entire postseason. So earlier in the postseason, I thought he looked worse from a physical standpoint with that knee injury, and then it looks like that kind of healed up. And so hard to kind of compare all the things that he's dealing with, but he's definitely not at 100%, but I also think that his game translates pretty well offensively to not being at 100% because of the way that he gets the shots off and everything. So I did think last game he settled for more jumpers and kind of avoided contact a little bit. And that was probably a result of the chest injury. But yeah, it's all speculative right now. I think he's going to be good to go tomorrow.
All right, and I like how you brought up that both teams have talked about 2-0, right? Drew Holiday was a part of it. Kyrie Irving was a part of it as well. It's definitely in everyone's mind that it's still possible and the series is not over. And again, I got a little worried today when I saw the Kristaps Porzingis news, just how great he's been defensively and how the Celtics have been defensively. Do you have I know you're a beat writer, you're following the team, but do you have a prediction on the series?
Yeah, I had Celtics in 6 originally. I have them in 5 now. I think they're going to split these 2 games and then win at home in Game 5. It sucked to see. We got the email. We were literally just about to start Celtics media availability when we got the email from Celtics PR kind of explaining the injury, and nobody had heard of any of the words in the press release. So definitely, it's a hit to them, but they haven't had him this entire playoff run. So when I think about this Celtics team and the confidence that I have in them, it's actually without him. And he's just been kind of like a spark plug, but he's not. They don't rely on him to win at this point. They've structured the team in a way that they can afford these kinds of things.
All right, she's Noa Dalzell. Check out her work. Does great videos over there. It's Noa Dalzell NBA on X. Noah, appreciate your time tonight. Great job, and let's see how this thing shapes up. We'll have you back on.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, it's Noa Dalzell, everybody. Check her out, Celtics blog. You can follow her on X as well, Noa Dalzell NBA. Everyone knows 2-0. 2-0. Everyone knows about it. Coming up here on the other side, I see your phone calls, so we'll get to your calls as well, and I got your betting info. Game 3, what's the line? I used to do a show called What's the Line, so that's why I said it like that. It came off very comfortable. But I got your betting numbers. Coming up next, we'll do that. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.
So we're here till 11 o'clock tonight. The phone number is 617-779-0985. Our intern Kevin's here tonight, putting him to work. So we're going to use this as a video. And then we're going to put it on 98.5thesportshub.com where you can read Skaz's article from earlier today about who is this going to, the injury to Kristaps Porzingis, who does it hurt the most or who does it put more pressure on? I said Tatum. Skaz, though, uses his brain, just like Noah did, and said Al Horford. Yes. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm starting to look ahead a little bit here. I think the Mavericks tomorrow have momentum. They're favored in Vegas. I'll give you the line in 1 second. I think tomorrow's the game for Dallas. I think tomorrow's Dallas's game. I still think the Celtics are the best team. I still think they're the better defensive team. I still think they win this series in 5. How about that? But tomorrow night, Dallas needs that game. They need it. So, let me give you the old betting line right now. The Celtics have gotten off to a 2-0 lead in the series. And now the series shifts over to Dallas for Game 3. The Celtics defense has made the biggest impact in the series, holding Dallas to 89 points and 98 points. The Celtics this season, 24-0 when holding teams under 100 points. I'm going to say that forever. The Mavericks haven't gotten much from outside of Luka Doncic, who's been dealing with multiple injuries. Speaking of injuries, Kristaps Porzingis suffered another one in his left leg, unrelated to his right calf injury. Joe Mazzulla called it a serious injury. It would not put him in a bad situation. Doncic downgraded the course to questionable for Game 2, and the betting line stayed firm at 7 points. The Celtics opened as 2-point underdogs with money coming in on the Celtics and moved it to -1.5 Dallas. The Porzingis injury has moved the line now to +2.5. To me, you might not think the line movement's much, but it indicates to me that Porzingis may not play in Game 3. I almost think it's better to sit out Game 3 and see if it's available for him to have 5 days off, get the rest, and play on Friday night's Game 5. The Celtics have managed Porzingis all season long. They got to the playoffs before any setbacks. He missed 40 days before returning in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. And in this playoffs, of course, he's been outstanding at +22 with Porzingis on the court. And they're even without him. So they're just better with him. They're just better with him. But he could miss some significant time here, and I'm starting to think down the line. But I think most significantly, Porzingis, if he misses time, will hurt them on defense. So the Celtics may have to lean on some other people. Mentioned Tatum, mentioned Horford, but Xavier Tillman might be the guy if they have to go with another big. Let's not forget Luke Cornett is yet to play. They also could get a boost of offense from Jason Tatum. But we'll find out more on Wednesday night. So your thoughts at 617-779-0985. I'm Joe Murray. We'll take a quick look at the Sports Hub headlines. I see you guys lined up on the phone lines. I haven't even taken a call all night. We'll do that on the other side. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, the road to Nevada 18. This is the flagship station of the Boston Celtics.
Boston Celtics swarm the floor.
WBZ-FM at HD Boston 98.5 The Sports Hub. Leslie Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Kristaps Porzingis listed as day-to-day. He's dealing with a, let's call it a left foot ankle injury. Has nothing to do with the right calf injury that he was dealing with as well. He's listed as day-to-day. Joe Mazzulla says it's serious. But Game 3 of the finals tomorrow night right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Red Sox in action today. Top of the 4th inning. They're hosting the Philadelphia Phillies. 1-1 is the score at the moment. Cutter Crawford on the mound tonight. And Rob Ruffschneider, a sac fly. That's how they put up that one run in that one. And the Patriots, OTAs, and Brady night tomorrow night. They announced that they have claimed rookie linebacker Steel Chambers off waivers from the Lions. Headlines, they are brought to you by Cape Cod Lumber and CCL Homescapes, 100% employee-owned, your go-to independent lumberyard. Partner with CCL and CCL Homescapes for all your building needs right in Abington. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update in 30 minutes.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
On the table, and we will talk to one Mike Sardrilli coming up in just a little bit. He's going to be the master, or the master of MC, master of ceremonies tomorrow night when it comes to Brady Day. So he'll have a whole lineup of what's going on there coming up in just a little bit. But let's go to the phone lines right now. Let's start with Mike, who's in Newton. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it going, Joe?
Hey, man.
Hey, so Porzingis, let's assume Porzingis is out. I still like the Celtics, especially plus money, because I think they're going to shoot better. I think Tatum's going to play better. I think all of that is going to compensate for the lack of Porzingis, assuming he doesn't play. So I still like the Celtics. I think they're a great bet at plus money. I'd like to hear what you think.
I just gave it out. I think the momentum is towards Dallas. They covered game 2, and generally teams that cover and then go back on at home when they're favored, that's the way to go. That's just as a bettor. You might bet with your heart and just think that they're better. Well, these trends happen in sports, right? Team covers on the road, then comes back home and is the favorite. Generally, you want to back the team in that spot. I always thought a sweep was on the table. I like the 5-game series. I'm going to bet the 5 games. If something happens to change, I'll always hedge it, whatever. But if you're like looking at it, I love the Celtics and they should win, and I like them on the money line, just be an educated bettor. Look at the trends. When the trends are, again, teams that cover in the previous game and are favored in the next generally cover. And I'll look up the teams that came back down 0-5. 5 teams have done it. So I'll look at all those teams that were down 0-2, and I'll see what the betting odds were, those guys. Ralph and Cranston. Hey, Ralph.
Hey, Joe. Well, I disagree with your host that said that there's no momentum switch, or if he thinks that it might stay with the Celtics. Now, this is exactly what Dallas needs from a momentum standpoint, for a confidence standpoint. And, Porzingis is a lot. I mean, he's probably the most confident shooter they have. And, they're going to miss his defensive presence, but Tatum really has to step up now. He can't score 16 and have him win a game now in his next 2 games. Yeah, I think the pressure's on him if there's any pressure, and I think he wants to. I think he wants to score 30, 35 a game. That's what he loves doing. But I think the line may even go up, Joe. It might go up to 3 or so because I think the smart money's going to go with Dallas now. And the Celtics can win it, but I think Horford, you get what you get out of Horford every game, the same thing every game. The pressure is without a doubt now Tatum. They need Tatum to step up and be that presence. They still are going to win the series, but it's not going to be as easy without that defensive presence and rim protector that they just lost.
All right, Ralph, appreciate you, bro. It's not going to be any easier. Man, things were really rolling, huh? Of course, this had to come up. Like, these are the things that the Celtics always have hurdles. They always have hurdles, and it's always themselves. It's always them. Right? Yeah, there are teams that can beat them. There are teams that can beat the Celtics on any given night, but for the most part, 82% of the time, the Celtics win. This is what they did this year. I'll take that 82% every single time. I really will. But, man, when they lose, they beat themselves. And unfortunately, this is an injury that you can't control. But they relied on him. He gave him a spark. He clearly helps and is an advantage statistically and on the floor. Tough blow. The only thing I'll really say is, and this is me being critical, I thought he was hurt. Maybe you should have taken him out sooner. Whatever. He made a big block down the stretch, so here I am saying, they should have taken him out sooner, and then he made some big impact plays. Brandon's in Boston. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So I still got the Celtics in 5, with or without Porzingis. So for me, I would like to see Tillman out there. Tillman is a versatile player. He can shoot the 3. Daniel Gafford and Lively can't do that. So you can definitely spread the floor with him. And, with those 2 guys that they have on Dallas, as far as the bigs go, why not use Kata as well? This is a guy that could average a double-double on a nightly basis. He reminds me of Joel Embiid, only without the shot. But I've seen him hustle, man. The dude he's a monster, bro. So I don't get why they're not using him. But I would like to see more Kate out there, some Tillman. But, yeah, I think this team steps up and wins in 5.
Thanks, Brennan. Skaz, do you want Kate out there? It's okay, Lewis, the vacuum guy. It's okay. No, we like Lewis.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's loud back here.
I like that. Luis in the back.
I mean, Katie doesn't really. I think you're going to see more Cornette and Brissett probably.
I kind of like that feel, We're a professional show, but yet the guy is vacuuming in the background. I thought it's
got to do his job.
It's authentic, though.
Absolutely.
I like it. By the way, everyone's gone. We're the only people here in the building. After 6 o'clock, do you ever see a soul in this place? Unless it's Neil.
I was going to say Neil. It's us and Neil.
It's always us and Neil. Luis getting some airtime tonight, huh?
I mean, Cada, I think Cornette's been pretty solid.
He's been on ice.
He's ready.
Oh, he's ready.
He's due.
Tillman, though, pick and roll.
Yeah, I could see Tillman getting some minutes. Maybe Brissett gets a little run. I thought he was good in the Pacers series at times. So, yeah, I mean, the Celtics' strength is their depth. That's why they're here. So use it to your advantage.
All right, 617-779-0985. Let's talk to Travis in the car. Hey, Travis.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Scott. How you guys doing?
Yo.
So just a quick thought to squash the little disagreement that you and Skaz had on who takes the bigger role if Porzingis is out. Wouldn't you say it's fair to say that on the defensive end, it's Al Horford, 100%, but on the offensive end, somebody to make up for that loss has got to be Tatum, right?
So I think we're both right. The two guys that are going to have to play better on defense, clearly, is Al Horford and Jason Tatum.
I agree.
Yeah, no disagreement then. We all agree.
Yeah, I was just, when I came on, I heard you and Skaz
No, it's fine. You're making
disagreement.
No, you're making a good point.
I just look at it, offensively, defensively, I think they both value at different spots.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. Have a great night, guys. Thank you.
Bye. We're going to talk to Sarge coming up in a little bit.
I think some of it's on Missoula as well. He's got to find a way to get Tatum going offensively. Obviously, it's on Tatum to hit the shots. I mean, we've seen the numbers. He can't hit anything even within 5 feet of the basket. But I do think Missoula needs to make a more concerted effort on getting Tatum going early if Porzingis is out. I don't think it's necessary that Tatum scores, 35, 40, anything like that. But just getting him going early, getting him in rhythm with Porzingis out, I think will be big.
All right, let's talk to Bob. He's in Hyde Park. Bob.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
Good. I don't know. Just saying that I've got nothing to do with basketball, but do you ever fish at Sprague's Pond?
Is that on Sprague Street near the train
station?
Yes,
it's right over the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we used to meet the Dedham kids to fight them growing up.
Oh yes, we always figured one because they were always wearing dungaree jackets.
So what happened over there?
I caught a 6-pound bass yesterday.
Whoa, in HP?
Yeah, so that's why I thought I'd call you and let you know.
Did you cook it or did you put it back?
No, I put it back.
Yeah, did you take a photo?
But I know you're from Hyde Park, and I figured you might want to know that. But yeah.
I used to hang there at Macintosh Field. Used to play.
Oh yeah,
played BNPL on that basketball court over there.
Oh, I played the Tom Menino League.
That's right, Mayor Menino.
Yeah,
one of the greatest people ever from Hyde Park.
Yes, and I played in that league for years. The NBL. We used to make up.
Oh boy.
We would make to play in to be 18 and under.
Yeah.
We would fake. We'd go get to the library and get fake birth certificates. So
really?
Play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta let you go, Bob. When the guys from the neighborhood call in Skaz, I always get worried. Me and that guy, though, we're I can tell we're ages apart.
It's a little early.
It's a little early. I know. It's 8:12. One more. Jimmy is in the car. Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good, man.
So I just wanted to quickly touch upon how I've been seeing a lot of things that say if Porzingis doesn't play, that's going to completely disrupt the Celtics offense because they love playing 5 out so much. I don't necessarily think that when Horford comes out and they got to play a little 4 out, 1 in, that's the worst thing in the world. Because we even saw that when they had the personnel to play 5 out, sometimes they would throw Holiday in on the bottom block because the way that they're defending Tatum when he drives, they're throwing all their defenders up at him. And that drop-down pass has been there basically every time. So I don't really think that, say, if Cornette or Tillman's got to come in, that if you throw them down on the block and they're still committing to Tatum the way they have been, we're still going to get some good offensive looks.
All right, Jimmy. I said it was about the defense, not the offense. But, yeah, they're a plus 22 with him on the court and even when he's off the court. So he's that much of an impact when he plays.
Are they really playing 4 in, 1 out with Horford, though? I mean, we saw Horford take how many threes in the first couple playoff rounds? Like, they're still going to play 5 out. I don't think it's that drastically different.
I don't think they're going to shoot 25% again. I don't think they'll have 10 turnovers combined between Brown and Tatum again.
Yeah, and it's not like Porzingis is an Iron Man or anything. This team is used to playing without him. It's like yeah, it sucks. He's awesome. It's great when he's out there, but this team is built to win with or without him.
All right, we're going to talk to the Sarge, Mike Reilly. He's over at Gillette Stadium. I guess they're doing a bunch of stuff there today. But he'll tell us. I don't want to speculate or anything like that. Man, this Porzingis thing, it's really thrown a wrench in it. By the way, speaking of throwing a wrench, Brady night or Mavericks Celtics game 3?
I mean, I love Brady, but it's a no contest.
Oh, you weren't here last night, but I mused about how, we work during the week. How many people like these guys? You want Thursday night? You want to go hit some golf balls?
All the time.
What do you tell them?
Working.
It's like they don't...
Same as always.
They don't respect your schedule.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
I got invited to Brady night a lot this week. And I went, dude. I work every night. And Sundays. So, I can't go.
I'm here.
Yes. But Brady night, Celtics, it's a toss-up. We'll talk to Mike Reilly, the Sarge, coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
I really don't know what's going on there. So I asked the man, the myth, the legend, the voice of Gillette Stadium. And you'll hear his voice and see him tomorrow night at Brady Night. His name is Mike Reilly, and he joins us here on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Mike, what the hell is going on there tomorrow night, my man?
Oh, I'll tell you, Joe, it's going to be a unbelievable evening. Actually, Joe, before that, can I just formally congratulate you on your 1-year anniversary for the Joe Show nighttime? Because if I remember correctly, it was a year ago this week where the announcement was made at the 98.5 The Sports Hub Hoosier Caddy Golf Tournament, and that was, of course, yesterday. So we're about a year, 1-year anniversary for the Joe Show.
That's right. Congrats to Skaz as well. He's here.
I love Skaz. Top shelf. Love him.
Definitely. Where mommy...
Big Revolution fan, too.
Where mom hides the peanut butter, and you know the rest there.
We know it all.
We know it all.
But
how you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing great, Joe. I'm doing great, and thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I just got back from Gillette Stadium a little while ago. We had rehearsals, and everybody is really, really excited for this. And, you know, the people that I work really closely with on game day and other events for that matter, community relations, doing stuff for fans and so forth, it's been a total team effort for this event here. As we know, Robert Kraft made the announcement that Tom Brady would have a Hall of Fame induction ceremony. That was at the Patriots home opener last September. I think it was September 12th, right around there. And here we are 9 months later. And Mother Nature's cooperating this time, Joe, because the last 2 times Brady's been here, it rained that game against Philadelphia. It rained his return when he was playing for the Bucs. So we're looking good tomorrow night, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity for fans to – yeah, we saw Brady at the roast, and he was roasted by other people. But you'll hear Tom Brady, and yeah, you'll hear other people, former players and so forth, but you'll really have an opportunity to say a formal thank you to him for all the years of service here in New England.
So a special day because it is 6-12, obviously 6 Super Bowls. Number 12, there's going to be a bunch of people in attendance, and this has been planned for a really long time. So can you just give us some of the details? Is it in the stadium? What's the setup look like?
Yep.
And I know you're going to be a part of the festivities as well. What can you tell us that has been at least announced?
Sure. So the stage is right underneath the 6 Super Bowl banners. So that's the south end zone opposite the lighthouse. There's also going to be a center stage as well where you'll see some presenters. Mike Tirico, NBC Sports, is the master of ceremonies.
Okay, so he's doing it. Okay.
Yeah, he is the master of ceremonies. I'm part of the pre-show and a little bit during, but mainly pre-show with outside in the plaza. So if you are coming by, please say hello. I'll be right outside the Hall of Fame. And Mike Tirico's taking over from there. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's just going to be, Joe, here's the thing. I look at it where there's no blueprint for a Patriots Hall of Fame ceremony like this for one player, meaning, I know they have Hall of Fame ceremonies every year, but this one is a whole evening dedicated to Tom Brady. And I think for Boston, New England fans, we have to look back 30 years ago to Larry Bird night. You remember that?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask you. That's the only memory I really have of celebrating a player, right? Like the Bruins, I know they had the Ray Bork send off, which some people didn't like.
That was pregame.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Yeah, this is all pregame stuff, and their intermission. This is a whole night. We're talking 2 to 2.5 hours for one player, the greatest of all time. And like I said, Brady came back playing against the Patriots, came back to ring the bell, keeper of the light. Now you're going to really have the fans with the chance to say thank you, Tom, and to have more of a personal interaction as close as they can with him. But there's some big names there, Joe. I am sworn to secrecy on who is going to be there. I know a few, but you'll find out tomorrow night. I can tell you this, a lot of former players will be there. I saw a lot of them today, and it was really cool to see a lot of them right there and just getting so excited for Tom Brady and ready for the big event here. This is one of the hottest tickets in town.
We're talking to the voice of Gillette Stadium. He's a big part of the ceremony tomorrow. Read here from Patriots.com. On the plaza, Mike Sarge Reilly will facilitate interviews with Patriots Hall of Famers and other special guests, while Patriots reporters Mike Tussaud, radio host Fitzy will be there as well, and a big setup on the stage before the main event begins. So people can get there at 3, and then the doors open at 5?
Doors open at 5, and like I said, I'll be out in the plaza there talking to some former players, some of Brady's former teammates. Dussault and, Fitzy will be up on the stage, and Tamara Brown from Patriots.com will also be there. Jason McCourty, he is going to be kind of like the red carpet reporter where Robert Kraft's right where Robert Kraft's area is for people rubbing elbows there and talking. Zoe will be a part of it, and Bob Sosi, they'll have a little thing on stage at some point too. They're looking forward to that. Obviously, we know Zoe does not shy away from the microphone.
Oh, he's excited!
But,
he's excited. He's got all his old friends are going to be there.
Oh my gosh, yeah! I mean, this is going to be like probably a lot of the players that you saw at the roast will. You probably see a lot of those familiar faces there.
Wes Welker. We're going to see Wes Welker at the roast. He declined the roast because
the Hall of Fame, you mean? Yeah.
So I'm glad he's
going
to be there. Yeah, because he didn't want to get roasted.
I think there's a good chance you might see Welker. Yes.
So Bill Burr will deliver the opening monologue to kick off the ceremony. You mentioned the roast there. Bill Burr, local guy. I'm curious if he's going to bring up some things from the roast. Obviously, you don't know his act, but he has to, right?
He's got to. He totally has to. Yeah, it's a no-brainer if he doesn't. It's funny because I saw Bill Burr's police escort come in today, and that was really, we were waiting around for him after rehearsal. He was just coming in there, and then there's a little player VIP thing tonight, so he's part of that too. But Bill Burr is going to be part of that, and he will 100%. I'd bet every dollar in the world on that he would do something with the roast to talk about that there.
So tomorrow night is Brady night. They also mentioned surprise musical performances. I don't want to guess. I'm sure you may already know, but
I have an NDA, okay. Joe. I'm sorry, buddy.
No, it's good. I'm starting to speculate on who may be.
Well, Joe, let me put it this way. I'll tell you this. I told my boss the other day that I don't want to know if I don't have to. Well, obviously, the beans. Some of the beans were spilled today. I had to sign the NDA, tell people, not going to say anything, all that. But the point I'm going to get to here is that you and I were pro wrestling fans. We know that pro wrestling is predetermined. Isn't it always better to let it play out, and then you get that surprise? So just go in there. Don't worry. And I know it's your job. You're going to speculate. It's okay. It's all good. Have fun. Take it all in as a fan. Enjoy every second, because you will be surprised, and you will really enjoy it. It's going to be a heck of a night.
All right, I got two more for you. You have had the honor of introducing Tom Brady and Lionel Messi, right?
That's right.
Is there? Am I missing anybody off that list? And is there anybody you would love to introduce?
Oh boy, Joe Murray. His show intro at some point. What do you think of
that? You got one, Skaz?
I was going to say, there's got to be a wrestler, right?
The Undertaker, I think, is Mike's favorite.
Undertaker, yes, that was a big one. This Keeper of the Light thing last year when it all came in, we had Bon Jovi. That was a really cool one to do. And then Dante Scarnecchia, we had him. I love Scar, but Bon Jovi was really cool. You never know, like those guys. There are some of the big name guys are right up there, but Undertaker is a huge one. Having the honor to introduce him. And even they've been very fortunate the last few months. Messi that night was unbelievable at the Revolution, and the Brady night, Brady game, first game back at Gillette Stadium. as a retired player last September was just unbelievable.
Well, he's the Sarge. He's Mike Reilly. He's the voice of Gillette Stadium. He's a big part of what they're doing tomorrow night. Oh, they're coming after you, Mike.
Yeah, I know. I'm in downtown Quincy right now, and it's just a crazy atmosphere here, Joe. I feel like my old days in radio doing traffic reports.
That's funny, man. So tomorrow night, man, it all starts. So it starts 3 o'clock parking lot, and then they'll let people in at 5 p.m. You're going to be.
Are you coming, Joe?
I'm working here. I'll be
here. You are a man of just. Joe Murray has said it for years, folks. Anybody listening here, listen to Joe. He always said, take any availability you get, take anything, never say no. And he's the kind of guy that is the ultimate team player. Joe Murray, the man.
Well, now that you're gassing me up here and putting me over. Can I get a Sarge promo of the night show here?
Oh yeah. What do you want, an intro?
Just give us you're listening to, whatever here on
98.5. You're listening to the Joe Murray Show on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Oh, that was good. Anything, Skaz, for you that you wanted to?
That was perfect. That's all we need right there.
Yeah. How about Kristaps Porzingis? You think he's done?
Yes. I don't feel good about that. Seeing that injury with you the other night, Joe, at the Kowloon watch party there, that did not look good. Thankfully, the Celtics are up 2-0 right now. I still think they'll salvage the split in Dallas and then get the job done back here in Boston. So it's good to be up 2-0 instead of down 0-2. Let's put it that way, right?
We set the Kowloon references at over under 2.5. We
under came in, huh?
No, 2 now. So I guess we'll end it on that note. But Mike, excellent job, man. And if you go to a Revs game, Mike is the man. He's going to be doing a ton of Patriots games this year as well. That's when I first heard Mike Reilly on the PA. It goes, and now let me introduce the New England Patriots cheerleaders. And I go, oh, that's Mike.
Yeah, that's right, buddy. That's right. Don't forget that. All right. Please come say hello if you're coming to Brady night tomorrow night. We'll be in the plaza just outside the Hall of Fame where Tom Brady will officially be enshrined. It's going to be great.
I wonder if they're going to have, I don't know, but imagine just a big, gigantic jersey covering the field, and then they just play on that all season long.
That would be amazing. I thought you were going to say tomorrow night, but I was like, it's kind of like a concert with all the cheers out there.
Yep.
But, that would be pretty cool, Joe. Never say never.
Yeah, no,
never say never.
And plus, people can watch this and then go watch the Celtics game.
Right. It'll be on Patriots.com, the stream right there. And Joe...
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask. You can watch it on Patriots.com?
Yeah, the stream starts at 5 with the pre-show. You can see some of us on there. Actually, all my interviews who I have lined up and, everyone else on stage and so forth. And then, yes, the ceremony at 7 p.m. Patriots.com right there.
We got to run on that tomorrow, Skaz. We got to run on all day long. 5 o'clock, Brady night. Mike Reilly will be there, master of ceremonies, voice of Gillette Stadium. Mike, good seeing you the other night, and good luck tomorrow night, my man. I'll be watching on Patriots.com.
Joe, we need the over, so let's have some Saugus wings another time, okay?
Extra sauce, extra duck sauce.
Peace out, Joe. Thank you, buddy.
He's Mike Reilly, everybody, joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Tomorrow night's Brady night. We'll be watching it here on a stream. And then while we're anticipating Game 3 of the NBA Finals, I see everybody lined up on the phone lines. Adam, I know in Rhode Island, he wants to talk, and I put him on hold for 22 minutes. But you know what, bro? On the other side, we go to you here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to the Joe Murray Show on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Dude's got pipes. 20 years. And when I first met Mike Reilly, he was doing Needham Television. And he was like Chris Berman. He like hosted a sports show by himself at a studio. I was like, wow, this dude's really got it. And then we worked at a small radio station in Needham together. And been friends ever since. And of course, spent some time here and now works for Gillette Stadium and works for the Crafts. He is the master of ceremonies, and can't be prouder of the kid for the work that he has put in, and you'll be able to see him tomorrow night. And by the way, who better than Sarge to be the guy on the red car? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, he's the guy. So thanks, Mike, for joining us. 617-779-0985. Adam's been waiting, and I apologize, Adam. I'm here now. How are you?
Oh, can you hear me?
Well, a little bit. You sound like you're in the Narragansett water.
Let me take my Bluetooth off.
All right.
Hey, hello, Joe.
I got you. Sounding great, Adam.
Can you hear me now?
Absolutely. How are you?
How you doing? I love your show and everything. I was starting to feel like you don't like me. I actually been on hold for like over an hour and a half now.
Oh, I saw 30 minutes. It had nothing to do with you, bro. We had an interview and all that stuff.
Definitely. I thought it had something to do with the intern you had going on over there.
Kevin's the one who told me to go to you. So he's got you. Adam, next time you call in, I'll put you right to the top, all right?
Tell Kevin I appreciate it.
All right, Kevin. What do you
Definitely,
got?
But I actually had a thing because so since Porzingis is out, it kind of affects the Celtics because with Porzingis it kind of opens the court for the Celtics. Without Porzingis, my question for you was, do you want Tatum to take more shots where he's taking like 30 shots? So say if he takes 30 shots and he starts shooting like how he does before when he's shooting like 12 for 28, 11 for you got what I'm trying, 11 for 26. Mm-hmm. Like do as I'm not a Celtics fan, but you're a Celtics fan. So as a Boston fan, do you feel more comfortable with Tatum taking more shots as Porzingis being out? Are you guys comfortable with that?
Well, Adam, I'll say this. I think that with Jason Tatum sacrificing a little bit on taking shots, and again, he did take 22, so he's still getting his shots. I mean, he averaged 19, as Skaz pointed out earlier. But they have been a better team with him taking on double teams and finding the open man, and it really has elevated Jaylen Brown's game. So, to that point, I think that's been a real recipe for winning. But I do think he's going to take more shots because on the road he's just been a better offensive performer.
And one thing I was going to say, you took it out of my mouth, but one thing, Tatum, I feel like once he finds himself being a facilitator, he finds himself getting 12, 13, 14 assists. If Tatum could find himself in the game giving out 15 assists, you got to think about that's 30 points. That's 30 points for somebody else. So if Tatum could have like 25 points, 24 points, and give you 15 assists, 16 assists without Porzingis, I think you guys could win the championship if that could happen.
All right, Adam, appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in. He makes a good point, right? Jason Tatum is still taking his shots, but is more of a facilitator. And with that happening, you're seeing everyone else start to eat, right? Eat a little bit more. The Tatum, listen, I'm not making an excuse for Jason Tatum. I think he's hurt. Whether it's his hip or could have been his shoulder. I don't know. His wrist that needs surgery that we know. Whatever it is, the guy hasn't shot well at all. And I just think that once he does start shooting, watch out. Watch out now. Like once he gets that shot going, watch out. And he's been so good on the road. But I just want to be fair. People think I'm knighting for Jason Tatum. I'm not. He has been right now the fourth best player in the series. He has. Arguably. I think Doncic has been the best offensive player, but he gives up a ton defensively. I think Jaylen Brown's been the most consistent, and I think Drew Holiday defensively taking Kyrie out of the series has been a huge storyline. Huge.
And his offense was great in game 2.
Yep. So that brings up real quick while we're at it, the MVP odds. I was chirping with a lot of people today. People are like, oh, Joe, you're so hard-headed. Or da-da-da-da. No, I'm just right. Jason Tatum's the favorite to win the NBA MVP, final MVP.
Do you think a guy has ever led his team in points, rebounds, and assists and not won the MVP?
Yes. Andre Iguodala won the MVP and Steph Curry didn't.
Yeah, but he definitely didn't lead in rebounds. There's no way.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. You're using stats. I'm using takes. Yeah, you're right. No, but there's the outliers of superstars who don't win it. Steph Curry got 3 times. Steph Curry didn't get the MVP. Yet he might have been the best player in the series, right?
I mean, you could have argued KG should have won it over Pierce, but did we care? Did anyone even bring it up?
No.
That's the thing that just...
No, but in 1981, though, it was a big deal.
Max?
Well, just in general, though. Think about it. Young player, NBA Finals, struggled, but his Bob Ryan...
Hey, storylines are getting crazy when the olds are defending Tatum. Like when that happens, when you're getting guys like Bob Ryan who's complaining about just about everything that's going on in the NBA these days, when he's coming to Jason Tatum's defense, I think, we've lost the plot a little bit.
People think I'm knighting for Tatum.
No disrespect to Bob Ryan.
No, not at all. I think he knows. I went to the Boston Bullpen Project and ran into him, Dan Shaughnessy.
But I mean, that tells you everything you need to know when those guys are the ones defending Tatum now.
It's just he has not shot the ball well.
He sucked shooting the ball, but guess what? He's been pretty damn good at it. And honestly, you could say, and I've seen Lifshatz do this, that his defense hasn't been great in this series, and at times it hasn't. But I think that's by design by the Mavericks, and it's. Yeah, maybe Tatum hasn't been great, but it's not working. It's not enough.
Yeah. It's not enough. Last night, you good thing you were out last night. Good thing. You know why? People were telling me that Tatum was pathetic.
You're just not like a NBA fan if you say that, or like a Celtics fan.
And then some guy goes, he's so bad. Lucic is just absolutely destroying Tatum. And I went, what? He goes, yeah, Lucic. I'm like,
those are the people we're arguing with, Joe.
No, that's what happened. I went, wow.
Yeah, Tatum has sucked offensively. He's sucked scoring the basketball. Doesn't mean he's pathetic. He needs to score more.
If he sucked, they'd bench his ass. To be honest with you, there are some players.
He leads the team in points, rebounds, and assists.
I watched Tracy McGrady suck in a playoff game so bad that they put him on the bench and put Damon Stoudemire in, and he lit it up.
Mighty Mouse.
But you know exactly probably where he got the nickname from after that. But yeah, some star players just need to be benched. Tatum's doing everything else. Nobody wants to hear it.
Wasn't like the big complaint, they don't play team basketball, they don't know how to win, they play hero ball. And guess what? Tatum is playing team basketball, finding ways to win.
I will say that's changed. They are playing more team basketball and defense than ever. And
this is what you wanted. This is what you asked for.
I have a hot take on this one. We have to save it because we have in or out. But just let that. We're going to throw it in the air fryer.
Oh, it's frying.
We're going to throw it in the air fryer, right? There's one thing that's really just
crawled up Joey's craw.
Oh, and I heard I heard somebody do it on the station. And next time I see them, I'm going to call them out too. I won't do it publicly. But I actually thought that this person was straw manning. And it wasn't the 2 to 6 show. You'd be surprised. All right, we got In or Out coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
More Joe
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed.
And a talent, you're like, man, that's how it's done. You, as an intern, you learn more by just being here than us telling you to do things. It's true.
Yeah, it didn't exactly work for the Pistons, but I really liked when Dwayne Casey brought Cade Cunningham and those guys to the Garden to watch a couple playoff games. I like stuff like that. Bring them around the environment. Show them what it's like. It's good.
They're trying to get in the right direction. They just hired Trajan Langdon, and they're blocked up their coach. Detroit's trying at least, right?
They're certainly trying. It's just not working.
It's not.
All right, Joe. Staying with the NBA. What the world needs, just one more podcast. And that is Steph and Del Curry have announced that they have a podcast coming out called The Heat Check. Joe, are you in or out on the Steph and Del Curry podcast?
Man, rest in peace. But if I wanted a father-son duo, give me the Waltons. Like, imagine Luke and Bill. Well, if we were going to do father-son podcasts, I guess Steph and Del would be on the list. Right? Would Archie and a Manning be on there?
Yeah, that's a good one. Peyton and Archie, or Eli, Peyton and Archie, or something. Griffey's the Griffey podcast.
What about Tito and Al Horford?
I'd listen to that. I think Tito would have some takes.
The balls.
Well, yeah, there you go. I don't know if that one would end
I'd
well.
listen out of hate.
Nothing like a good hate listen.
I actually like the kids, though.
Yeah, me too.
Lonzo's had a tough deal.
Yeah.
But everyone knew about he had knee issues. LaMelo I like a lot, and I have a lot of his rookie cards.
Yeah, he just needs to work on his driving skills, but yeah.
He's in Charlotte. He'll play well until they trade him to
Detroit.
Dallas. I was going to say Dallas. I'm okay with it, but Dell was a good player. Like he was like Kendall Gill was ahead of him, who was a high draft pick. There were some guys ahead of him, but Del Curry was a smooth, small forward 3-and-D. He could shoot.
Yeah, he would throw.
Yeah. Do you know what I had in mind? I always think of someone that might be on the rise, that might be a little overrated. I want you to know that. But just, you asked me the question.
Like Hurts. I feel like Hurts could have been a guy.
Jalen Hurts could have been a good one. McCaffrey is a good one, though.
Yeah, I mean,
But he's going to get hurt.
Yep. Unfortunately, probably
because of
true.
who he is, he's going to get hurt. Ooh, okay, Jalen Hurts is a good one. If I had to go Madden, would you go... You're going offense, right? I mean, Ray Lewis was on the front before.
Yeah, Palomalu was on it with Fitzgerald one year. But yeah, it's usually offense.
I'm trying to think of who's like a semi-overrated player in the league. Tua? Could you put Tua on the front cover? Because McCaffrey holds a little more...
Like, I think Tyreek is more of a cover athlete than Tua, but
that's
you can't.
That's a good one.
I don't think they do
He's
it.
good. No, he's a good one.
But I don't think they
if
do it.
Tyreek Hill was on the front cover, nobody would say anything.
Yes,
he's
not
they
a
would
great
say
guy.
he's not a great guy.
Yes, that's why I'm saying that I don't think you could put him on
Michael
there.
Vick and Ray Lewis, and I can go through a
I
list
guess
if you want me to keep going.
You got me there. But yeah, Tyreek, in terms of like explosive fantasy, that the younger demographic, like he is someone that, fits that description. Like Jamar Chase, would you put him on the cover?
Okay, that's fine. Not Stephon Diggs.
No. I don't know if you're getting a Texan on the cover yet. Maybe if Stroud wins some playoff games.
Think of another. Keep going with wide receivers.
Like Jefferson. I think Jefferson could be a cover athlete, absolutely. He's the best receiver in the league right now.
Anybody under
Kelsey? Could Kelsey?
So Kelsey could be one. Mahomes probably just didn't want to do it.
He's already been. Him and Brady it was him and Brady.
I
was gonna say, like, you think Saquon, but he's an Eagle now.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Yeah, running back's tough. Like Peyton Hillis might have been the last running back on the cover.
I was thinking defense. What about TJ Watt?
Yeah, someone like that's a good one. Like, yeah, there's just, I think you got to go offense. It's just how the league is now.
I'm fine with McCaffrey now that I think about it, but he is going to get hurt, and I do believe in the curse. But, dude, the Sports Illustrated curse was real in the 90s and early 2000s. Might even still be going. Anything else?
I think that's it for tonight. We got a couple more. We'll save them. We'll have in or outs Thursday.
Oh, that's right. We got a game tomorrow night. We'll have more in or outs based off of whatever happened.
Yes, we will.
How do you feel about celebrities at the games?
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com.
You know what? I said I'd take somebody, but father-son duos and podcasts, fine. Eric's on the pike. Hey, Eric.
All-star linebacker at Ohio State, played at the Rams.
Yep.
Father, the animal road warrior.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. I met him. I got a chance to meet him in New York. He had the LOD 2000 football pads with the spikes.
Yeah.
But the conversation was father-son podcasts that are out. And unfortunately, both are no longer with us. Oh, wait, is James Laurinaitis with us still? Well, I know his old man isn't. Do you remember the Legion of Doom? Whoa, what a rush. We should come back with one of those some night. The LOD music from WWE. Oh. Dominic and Rey Mysterio. They do a podcast. Even though on film they hate each other. And now he's in a love story. He's in a love story. Do you know who Liv Morgan is?
I do not.
I'd advise learning her.
Kevin seems to be a big fan back here.
How about Rhea Ripley?
Big fan as well.
Big fan. They're going to fight for Dominic. It's going to happen. But Finn stole the hotel key. Did you see that? Anyways, Benny's on hold. Hi, Benny. Benny!
Hey, sorry, I wasn't expecting that.
Benny in the Celts.
Benny in the Celts. Hey, congrats to you. I don't know how you kept a straight face when that guy said he compared Kata to Embiid just without the shot.
You heard.
I was lost.
You know, last night though, Benny, I got fired. The calls last night were like really bad.
Well, I was exhausted last night. I went to bed. Yeah, that cracked me up. Like Kata, I've heard one of my friends arguing, let's go Jordan Walsh in there. I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? I can't talk sports with you guys if these are the takes you're having. For Game 3, obviously it's going to suck if KP can't play much, but I expect like a Game 3 versus Cleveland series when Tatum came out and had that 33-13 game. I expect him to hit a few more shots this time. And obviously I prefer Luke. I see Luke starting. I know you mentioned Tillman. Not starting, I'm sorry. Luke getting more of KP's minutes if he's not playing. And if he doesn't play well, Joe switching over to Tillman
Benny.
probably in the second half.
Hey, Benny, let's talk about that for a second.
Go ahead.
Horford has been starting and has been great, and I'm a little worried about the bench when it comes to the Celtics going on the road now. They haven't played, besides Pritchard, they really haven't played well at all. And when you go on the road, you struggle, right? So you got to assume that Dallas's bench and bigs are probably going to play better.
Agreed. So what are you thinking? Start someone else and bring Horford off the bench?
Well, I was going to entertain the idea of a Cornette start, Al off the bench to kind of like see what you can get out of Cornette, like 6 minutes in or something, and then Al just kind of goes from there.
That was my whole thing before when you mentioned when KP was coming back from injury. I know I wanted KP to be with the starters, but I more so wanted Horford with the bench to kind of stabilize that unit. I mean, that unit, I know obviously we're not playing 10 guys, but more so like Pritchard and Hauser and I know they just work better, and Horford works better with that group, and obviously they've had more time throughout the season. So I wouldn't mind that. And Cornette's proven he can start.
He has. And I know it's the finals, so you're really going to change things up with this starting five. They're 9-0 on the road. With this starting five, I don't know if I'd do it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. You don't want to obviously throw something too crazy out there. And Cornette can play anywhere. Mm-hmm. I've hated Cornette before, I'm not gonna lie.
But this system though, he can run with the guys. You know.
Hey, I give him his flowers this season. He showed out
Benny,
very well.
Trust me, man. There's been many of a time, and I know they're professional athletes, but down at the playground, right? Everyone's better than me, but man, I'm going to pick and roll, and I'm going to shoot better than everyone. And when I go to the free throw line, I'm going to nail my free throws. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Luke Cornett does. That's what Luke Cornett does. He does everything right, even though he might not have all the ability.
Hey, and what happened to his 3-point shot?
Well, he's got it. He's got it. He still got it.
I wouldn't mind a corner three from Cornett or something, although he does well rebounding and those offensive putbacks.
Only in a 20-point blowout.
I'm with I am, and selfish reasons. I hope they win Game 3 because I'll be at the Game 4 watch party, and I would love to be there for us.
Oh, you got to call us on. I'll be on Friday night till 1 a.m. So you got to call us. Right. Let us know how that watch party goes.
You know, I've been calling after games, so I'll talk to you guys.
We appreciate you, Benny. Thank you, man. All right, we got to go to break. I'm Joe Murray, and there is a report regarding Derek White, an extension. We'll do that next here on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
It's Felger here, and it's time for tick and mosquito control in your yard.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Here until 11 o'clock tonight. Derek White, an extension. He talked about it. We know the team talked about it, but did not pick up his option. There's a bunch of things when it comes to Derek White's future contract or an extension. Number one, he has bird rights with the team. So anything that they really offer him won't hurt the salary cap as far as second apron, et cetera. So that's one thing to look at. But if you really want to look at some of the numbers when it comes to an extension, they passed this summer. They can't this year. They may have missed out on that one. So whether it was White who said no and bet on himself or the Celtics just clearly missed out, either way, because of the bird rights, they're going to retain him. So here's a rough look at a max contract. Now, I don't know if Derek White's a max contract guy, but 140% over his 2025 contract in year one. So that would make it $28.1 million. And in 26-27, he'd be at $30 million, 32, 35. So I would look at that. That's a max number. That's probably something I wouldn't do. So what I would do for an extension, how about 4 years, $126 million, and he'll top out at $20 million a year. I just think it would be, they can give him a max contract. Derek White is not a max player. Derek White is not a max player. He is not a max player. Drew Holiday, max player. Derek White, not, doesn't mean that, that's not a bad thing, Derek White. But getting 4 years, $126 million on top of what he has, in. So I would do that extension this offseason. But they're already talking. They might have got him at a shorter number earlier. 4 years, 126. I'm in. Even if it's up to 140, I'd still do it. 617-779-0985. Tommy is in Lynn. What's up, Tommy?
What's up, Joe? Joe, I'm ready for tomorrow night. But the thing is, I saw the update about Porzingis, and I think we can still beat this team without him in 5 because Kyrie Irving is such an idiot. He doesn't like playing against him. You know why? Because we are in his head. He's 0-12 since he stopped on Lucky. And what is this guy doing? Why does he like to cause problems? Likes to do crazy things? And the only thing that they have is Luka Doncic. They're going to shut him down, and you're going to give Derek White that big payday. Absolutely. The people that are stepping up in this series is Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, and who cares if Tatum is our 4th best player right now because he's still doing a good job with his points and with the dishes. He's dishing the ball out. That's how he's getting his points. So I want to shut up all the Tatum haters right now. Go Celtics. Let's go, Joe.
All right, Tommy. Appreciate you. Oh, I should have asked Tommy if he was going to the watch party tomorrow night. Wonder how people feel about those watch parties. I think it's all right. I'd rather go to a bar, but you know what? I support everybody over at the Garden. Got some great friends over there. Great friends. I see people in the chat. Wow. The chat is, what is going on tonight? 75 people watching right now. Thank you, everyone. And of course, you can download it right on your television. I like to use my Xfinity remote and then just say 98.5 The Sports Hub and then boop, goes right to it. Reading some people in the chat right now. In on a Derek White max. I'm sorry. It's not my money. It's not my money. I would not give the max contract to Derek White, but would I give him as much as I can out below the max? Absolutely. Absolutely. 617-779-0985. We'll take a quick break here. We'll look at the sports of headlines. And, we'll take a quick, how about we take a little bit of a Celtics break? Sounds like some people think Drake May looking good. We'll find out who. Coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub
All right, Celtics, they play Game 3 tomorrow night in Dallas, but everyone's talking about Kristaps Porzingis and his injury. Listed as day-to-day, but the betting line suggests he's out. Red Sox. Back here in 98.5, the Sports Hub. Is Drake May moving up the depth chart? In some people's eyes. Take a little Celtics breather. We got more coming up on Jaylen Brown sat down with Malika Andrews. Used the F-bomb a couple times. So we got to edit that out. But just to throw this out there, Drake May has now passed Bailey Zappi. And yesterday, people that I spoke to said that they thought Drake May threw the ball well yesterday. And get ready for it. Drake May is going to be a better passer at camp than Jacoby Brissett at times. At times. Now, does it mean that he can still run a huddle and get the plays in and not have like the play clock go down to 5, all that, etc.? That's the stuff that he needs reps doing, where I'm sure the team will be more happy than Brissett in his play and having all that stuff done than Drake May. And listen, any team you've ever ran, coached, whatever, you kind of need guys who know what they're doing despite their skill. And I think that's going to happen with Brissett. I think in some way they believe in Brissett, meaning he can tutor young players. But at the same time, if he needs to make a throw, he'll hang in there. So I think Brissett's going to be fine, but I want more than that, personally. I also feel like if you draft the guy number 3 overall, you probably should play him. I think it's the worst team in the league, in my opinion. I'm standing on that rock. I've already said it, and I'll say it again. I think the Patriots will be the worst team in the NFL this year. So all this clamoring of who's better, Drake May or Jacoby Brissett, it doesn't matter. They're going to sit his ass. And I know that some people are going to be like, man, he's better. Why don't you play him? It's not what they have in mind. And I wanted to just throw out a scenario, Skaz. Can the Patriots learn something from the Celtics in their blueprint? For example, the Celtics were bad. They got Jaylen Brown, right? They sucked again. They got Jason Tatum. They built around them for years, made the playoffs every year, had long runs, right? Finally made it, lost to a better team that was experienced. But if you look at the path of the Celtics, can the Patriots learn? I think they're going to be the worst team in the league. They got the number 3 pick this year. Could they get the number 1, 2 pick next year? And then get their next 2 guys that they build their team around? Not to mention some of the guys they've re-signed and already drafted. I know we're crossing sports here, but could 2 top 5 picks get the Patriots to where they need to be, such as where the Celtics are with their top picks?
I think it's possible, but I think it's just so much different in the NBA where one guy can really change everything. I think maybe the best comp in the NFL would be looking at the Bengals, getting Burrow, and then getting a guy like Jamar Chase, pairing them together. And, they've been one of the worst teams in the league for almost all of my life. You get 2 guys like that can kind of immediately change everything. And they still haven't won anything, but the franchise definitely looks a lot different with Burrow and Chase. So if that's what you're hoping for, I do see it, but the NBA, all it takes is one guy. In the NFL, I mean, you can get a guy like Herbert, who people have anointed, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and not win anything because of the roster around him. So I think it's a much steeper hill to climb in the NFL.
Much steeper climb, you're right. But people bought the path to the Celtics, right? They went through it. Should we be as lenient? That's the one thing I'll admit. I said this all summer long. Danny Ainge was at least transparent, right? Hey, we're not there yet. We're going to be. And they tried Kyrie. They tried Gordon Hayward. They tried Kemba Walker. They tried them all. Didn't work. So what do? They built around the star core players. And really, this is getting talked about a lot. Like ESPN, when they talk about who's the MVP of the finals and all that stuff, they say Brad Stevens. The fact that Brad left, the fact that Danny Ainge left, Brad went to the Bucks. Ime was the right guy at the time. He really was.
I don't know. I've seen Brad Stevens getting some criticism for building out his roster, saying it's an indictment of the talent on the roster. And I think you put it in Slack that people were saying that Brad Stevens knew Tatum and Brown couldn't get the job done. That's why he went out
did you see that one today?
and acquired. Yeah, I mean, Pat Riley must have thought Dwayne Wade sucked when he went and got LeBron and Bosh. And
yeah.
Ray Allen. He must have thought they sucked.
Yeah.
Or how about the Warriors when they got Kevin Durant? Did they think Steph Curry sucked? That's why they got Kevin Durant?
And Klay Thompson.
Yeah, so
and
it's
Draymond Green.
I mean, the takes are out of control. But yeah, no, Brad Stevens' job is to make the Celtics the best basketball team he possibly can, and he did that at an elite level. I don't know what we're doing.
I do think that Brad Stevens got Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday because they needed to support Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
I 100% agree they needed support.
I don't agree. I agree with that's why they did it. I don't agree with that they did it because those guys can't.
Yes, I don't think
they've been there together already.
I don't think it's an indictment on them. I think it's more of an indictment on Marcus Smart and guys that were here that couldn't get over the hump with. Yes, Malcolm Brogdon, guys like that. I think it's more an indictment on those guys than it is Tatum and Brown.
Ooh, I didn't know this, but Shams was on McAfee today and said that he thinks that Porzingis is going to go out there.
Yeah, him and Woj have been battling back and forth about this. They're just
now. Here's the deal: one's got betting influence, right?
I don't trust Shams.
Is Woj involved in any of that ESPN bet stuff?
That I don't know. He hasn't actively influenced lines the way Shams has, so allegedly, But yeah, so who knows?
Well, if you want to actively change lines, or what was the word you used?
Yeah,
impact lines.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can go to 985thesportshub.com right now. And Kevin, our intern from West Roxbury, who went to Catholic Memorial and now goes to Quinnipiac, posted what was the headline again? How has the Porzingis injury impacted the title odds?
Yes.
Kevin posted that.
Absolutely. Great work. He's on top of it tonight.
He did it.
Even though the callers had some shots for him, he's been on top of it.
We might have to update some hyperlinks and all that stuff. Don't worry about that right now. Take care of that later. But yeah, Kevin did that. Go check it out, 985thesportshub.com. And there's one on Scotty Scheffler in there too.
Yes, Scotty Scheffler's dominance.
Oh, by the way, what did you see that Tom Brady's pants from his last game went for $89,000 in auction?
I did not see that.
What would the cop from Scotty Scheffler's? What do you think that would get?
Well, they are damaged beyond repair, Joe. So I don't know if that affects the value. There's a slight rip in them.
Interesting. All right, we got to go to break. You know what's next? Special day. Today is a special day and a beef when it comes to hot dogs. We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.
world unrelated to sports. So sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
All right, Murray's Musings. Get any New Jersey feel while you're out there.
Yeah, it was, I wouldn't say it was like a hardcore Jersey wedding, but we were on LBI, so it was, Jersey Shore adjacent. I don't want to, offend any Jersey people, but yeah, it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It was a great wedding. Good to see a lot of, old friends that I haven't seen in a while. So yeah, it was.
Did they serve salad?
They served, Joe, it was everything you could imagine. I don't know if I wasn't really looking for soup, but I would imagine there probably was soup. But we had,
how was your table arrangement? Did you like the people you sat with?
Yeah, it was like all my close friends from like 5th grade.
So you guys were just.
We were the last table in the place. They were smart. They knew who we were. They put us in the back. Yeah, but it was buffet style for dinner. Called your table, and they had prime rib,
buffet style,
Chilean sea bass, pork belly, like you name it. It was everything. It was it was perfect wedding. It was great. Sunday night.
Did you dance?
Oh, we were tearing up the dance floor.
Here's my question: did you eat the dessert, or do you remember there being dessert?
Oh yeah, there was dessert, and then after party there was pizza delivered.
Oh yeah,
everything.
New Jersey, like what kind of style pizza in New Jersey?
It wasn't like New Haven style, but like close to that. Like,
solid,
good, very good pizza. Yeah.
So, did you got a parting gift?
Yes, yeah, we got some wedding gift bags, which I'm in on. Always love a nice gift bag.
Remember when you were a kid, you'd go to a party and get a bag, and it would be like candy and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was the best. It's not even your birthday.
They stopped doing that though, did they? No,
I haven't been to.
Probably because of the candy.
Probably.
So you got a grab bag. You had fun.
Grab bag with like local hot sauce, cutting boards. Some
How was it to get away for? Oh, what'd you guys do to watch the game?
We pulled it up on a phone. There is some pictures of us at the back table, huddled in a corner, watching the fourth quarter. So that was pretty funny.
Are your boys like, Tatum's gonna stop shooting the ball?
I have beaten it into my friends that Jason Tatum is playing well, but no, they're all mostly basketball guys. So I'm sitting at a table between 2 6'5" guys that I used to play basketball with. So they're big time Celtics fans that were all in.
Dude, I would take him in the post.
Yeah. Back to the CYO glory days.
Oh yeah, been there. I'll talk about my 2000 Catholic Suburban League championship as long as I live.
Oh yeah, shout out St. Anne's CYO team. Couple ships back in the day.
Oh really? Okay, I was Sacred Heart. We used to play St. Anne's of Milton, I believe. Now I don't know if they still have those rivalries.
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, the school doesn't even exist where we used to play. So
neither does my high school. Represent a different wiener brand. The brand is Impossible Foods. They're the leading maker of meatless meats. It is known for its Impossible Burger, which I've had. Contains laboratory synthesized substances called the Nathan's Contest at the corner of the Stillwell and Surf Avenues, 1 block from the famous boardwalk, has been a Coney Island tradition since 1916. California-born Chestnut has won it 16 times, including every year since 2016. He gobbled a world record 76 hot dogs and buns in 2021, and he's kept the title year after year. A rep from the Major League Eating Competition, which Nathan sanctions to run the event, said the organizers bent over backwards to meet Chestnut's various other demands. They even agreed to let him participate in a rival Labor Day dog eating contest to be taped for TV as long as no hot dog brand was mentioned. But they said they drew the line on letting Chestnut pitch for a different hot dog brand. A source said Chestnut was paid $200,000 to appear at the Nathan's Contest last year and was offered a $1.2 million 4-year contract going forward. Wait a second. He got paid $1.2 million to eat hot dogs?
I thought that meant like the new deal is worth $1.2 million.
Whatever. $1.2 million?
You got to take it, right?
The two sides could still come to a resolution before July 4th. That's what I'm thinking.
I think this is an advertising ploy. Maybe not fully, but I have seen murmurs on Twitter that Nathan's actually has a deal with Impossible Foods, and that might be something in the works down the line. So, I don't know. I think the pushback is going to be so strong that Joey Chestnut will be there the 4th of July.
Here's my question. Is there a competitive advantage eating Coney hot dogs to the Impossible hot dogs? Like if they're vegan, is it easier to eat? Does it settle in your stomach easier?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Let's be serious. Let's have a chat.
I think it's more on the buns, Joe. I think they always talk about is there fast buns.
Does it matter? Is there a vegan bun? Here's the question. If he's got a competitive eating record of eating Nathan's, why does he want to screw that up?
Yeah, it's like changing the ball, changing the glove.
I love tacos. I don't know what it did to my belly. I can't remember. But vegan hot dogs.
Yeah, is this a competitive advantage? Is this like spider tack in the eating competition?
Is that why he's banned now? Or is it just because he wants to represent another hot dog company?
I think you got to eat real hot dogs on the 4th of July.
I'm in too.
You got to.
Me too. But what, he doesn't want to eat them now? Like, what if he eats the hot dogs that are Nathan's, but then says, I really love my wieners from so-and-so?
Yeah, I think it's all just marketing. I think it's a money thing.
I love the Impossible Wiener.
That's the question.
Nice. Anyways, we got to keep our tabs on this one. You know, I'm going to write about this. 300 words on wieners. So today is June 11th, special anniversary today. In 1970, on this date, Billy Betts, who saw one of his favorite shoe shiners. And I'm going to tell you a story recently, guys. We have some people now working at the station that worked here when I started. I didn't come with the station. I pitched my stuff to them, but they said no thanks. And then they hired me 2 years later. But I've come across a couple of guys that were here before me recently who were now brought back. I saw Mark Feldman the other day, who was here last night as well. And he's like, man, you're the host now, huh? And I go, yeah, I'm not sure if you heard. I ain't shining shoes. And we want to just replay to you something that happened in 1970. So how many years ago is that? Wow, that seems like a really long time now. What was 1970 when I think about it?
54?
Yeah, June 11th, 1970 in Queens, New York. So 54 years ago today, a joke about a shine box. Well, you know what happened after that, right?
54 years ago today.
Well, they told him to keep him there. They got him real drunk. He's like, I can tell you. Oh, yeah. And well, let's just say that Billy Betts was still alive in the back of that car. I feel like they should have done a little more. Maybe an autopsy, something like that. But he was knocking. And where did they go? To his mom's house. Oh, you were always talking. Look at this photo. Ah, it looks like a guy we know. Ah. Hey, Mark, can I use this knife? I got to take care of the hoof, you know? And we'll never forget the day that they were going to make Tommy a made man, right? Jimmy was really animated. Kept checking the payphone, then went to the payphone and called. And he slams the crap out of the payphone. And he got whacked. You can't kill a made guy. Tommy was going to get made, but he killed a made guy. Paul, and I know you haven't finished The Sopranos yet there, Skaz. I don't think you heard. He's shining no shoes no more. Birthdays. What do we have? Hugh Laurie, 65 years old today. Peter Dinklage of Game of Thrones and Elf and maybe some others. Those are the only ones I know of. He's 55. Joshua Jackson. He played Charlie in Mighty Ducks and was Pacey on Dawson's Creek, and that's all I got for you there, too. Shia LaBeouf, 38. Shia LaBeouf, 38. Claire Holt, 36. Let's see what else we have for birthdays today. Gene Wilder, Skaz, your guy.
Yeah, I saw that. Gene Wilder. Big one.
He's dead, though.
Another unfortunate dead one, Jacques Cousteau. Used to do those documentaries all the time. Big marine biologist.
Hugh Laurie, 65 years old. What was that show called?
House.
I like that show. Diana Taurasi, now 42 on the Olympic team.
How about one Joe Montana?
Ooh.
68 years old today.
Joe Montana. 62, you said?
68 for Joe Montana.
68? Cool Joe. Needs one more year.
And since we are on the topic, it is one Henry Hill's birthday today.
Whoa!
You think that date was on purpose?
Oh. Is that an Easter egg? Part of the Boston College point shaving? Did you know that, Kevin? All right. We got to go to break. Or do we? No, we don't. We got the headlines here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, the road to Banner 18. This is the flagship station of the Boston Celtics.
Boston Celtics swarm the floor.
WBCFM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Leslie Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox lost tonight 4-1 against the Phillies. Kristaps Porzingis dealing with an injury day to day. It's on his other foot, not his right calf. Game 3 is tomorrow night here on the Sports Hub. And the Patriots continuing OTAs. Today they claimed a linebacker from Ohio State named Steele Chambers off waivers. Headlines are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Next update soon.
Tatum has been spectacular.
This is Jason Tatum.
Right corner against Embiid. Tatum for a 50-piece.
You're listening to the home of Boston Celtics basketball. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
See, that's why Tony Soprano is the best anti-hero of all time. Well, Stone Cold Steve Austin, too. But anyways, Tony, you loved him. You hated him, but you loved him? It's weird. I feel like we should do Sopranos updates every night, Skis. I'll watch them with you if you want. I'll watch them with you.
Yeah, season 1, we're getting through it.
Well,
couldn't watch any this weekend, but we're working on it.
When can you watch them though? I mean, what are you gonna come? You gonna go home tonight and watch it till 3 a.m.?
No, probably not tonight, but I'll get some in this weekend.
Now you gotta wait. Yeah, you gotta wait for the weekend now.
Yeah, late one tomorrow, and I won't be catching any Sopranos.
All right, we got some Jaylen Brown stuff coming on. I got to hear from Keith though. Keith in Florida. What's up, Keith? Keith.
Well, the first take is a food take. We got back on Monday from Boston, and we had a wonderful time. My granddaughter is a cutie, and my son, he took us down to the North End for the day. We ate at Strega, because I said, hey, the guys at the Sports Hub, they keep recommending Strega, and we went, and also Sports Tonight. So we went there, and he spent a fortune, but the food was worth it, I thought.
Get the meatballs?
No, my wife was going to, but she decided on the pizza, but I went ahead and I got the pasta, and I had them add to it some sausage.
Okay, sausage.
Man, I say it was killer.
Nice.
It was just enough for me, man. I tell you, and the bread and the iced tea, it's just killer. But we also had a chance to go. We stayed in. She switched hotels on us, so we ended up staying in Tewksbury and Tewksbury. I'm sorry. Yep. And we stayed up the street from the Nines, and we went to the Nines for dinner one night. Then a couple of nights later, we went there and got dessert. Key lime pie is killer. She had the hot buttered lobster roll, and I had the New England shrimp dinner. And I thought the place was a buffet before I went there, and it's not. It's a family restaurant, big screens, a bar. It's no joke.
So you went to Joe Fish.
Now, one last thing on reference to staying in Boston, and I thought down here in Southwest Central Florida that we had a problem on 75 and the streets with people cutting each other off and everything, because everybody down here is not from here. But I got to tell you, man, my son warned me when we landed at Logan. He said, Dad, I'm just warning you, when you drive on the streets and the freeways, you better be ready for the aggressive, because he lives alone. You better be ready about the aggressive traffic, because he goes, they're going to run you off the road. We nearly had 2 accidents.
So
nearly.
A lot of almost accidents?
Well, yeah, because I mean, the people they're in such a hurry that they cut you off and they're up on your bumper and I'm like, man, I thought where we live was bad. We even went down to Providence, and it was kind of bad down there too. So I hadn't been in New England since 2018, and I tell you, I hadn't been to Boston in like 30 years, and I'll tell you, it's a good thing I'm a professional driver and been driving almost 50 years, because if you're not a good driver, you will get run off the road, man. So that's the food take, and that's the Boston take. We had a great time. We're going for our first birthday next May. But my take on Tatum is tremendous player, going to be a Hall of Famer. I'm all great with the defense. But the other night, did you notice this towards the beginning of the game? He must have had like 4 layups, and he was doing these Dr. J finger rolls. And I'm like saying to my wife, what are you doing? If we're up by 30, you can finger roll all night long. And he missed every single one of them. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, Jay, if you're going to drive to the rim, just do a regular layup because you'll score. So he must have left about 6 to 8 points on the floor.
I know, Keith. I know. Thank you for your update. Glad you had fun. All I heard was finger roll. I don't know where my brain was. But we're going to find out where Jaylen Brown's brain is next after his interview with Malika Andrews. We'll play that for you next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
Would a finals MVP, a championship, would that be the credit that you're talking about?
A championship, that's more of like a team accolade, and that's what we play this game for. But I guess what I was alluding to was more just how people, the discourse around myself. And that's what I don't give a about, but what you do as a team, that's what I do care about, and that's what I want to achieve. That's what I want to be a part of, and I think that's what we all are here for.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Jaylen Brown sitting down with Malika Andrews. She's been really good with the Celtics coverage. The other day, I'll pull it up because I had it. I worked Sunday, so I saw it Saturday night, so I'll go back to that channel. But when she sat down with Porzingis, one of the things was, he had a little bit of a doubt that maybe he wasn't healthy. He knew he had the ability. He just didn't know how the injury would go. With Jaylen Brown, the discourse around himself, he doesn't care. And they want to win as a team, and I think they really do care about it. What's another thing I heard today is Jason Tatum had a quote regarding Joe Mazzulla and how they really feel like Mazzulla respects them. Some of these coaches in the league, do they all respect their players? Like it's a business, right? Celtics seem a little different. Like you got that Tatum. Let's listen to that from earlier.
Jason, your coach just had a fascinating discussion with this gentleman in the front row from Brazil, essentially comparing you to Neymar and the idea that superstars get scrutiny and he thinks a lot of it is unfair. Does that mean a lot to you? And behind the scenes, have you guys had those kind of talks where you contextualize the spotlight component of your experience?
Yeah, and that's one thing I truly do appreciate Joe, aside from being, I think, an excellent coach, is that I truly do believe that he cares about us, our team as individuals, and obviously myself, the conversations that we have, and he always, through the season, the summertime, and obviously through this postseason, have had days where he's called me into his office, and not necessarily talk about X's and O's, but check on me as a person, and how I'm dealing with everything, and that does mean a lot for somebody to take time out of his day to show that compassion or whatever.
Right? Trading everybody. By the way, on the other side here, I know Rasheed Wallace had some comments regarding if we can play it, because he's
gonna have to do some heavy cleanup on this one.
Forget about it then. Let's not do it. But you know what I do want to get?
I got 10 seconds into the clip and there was three dumps already.
What's the big takeaway from it?
Rasheed Wallace basically said, Jason Tatum slander is for people who ain't won nothing. You can impact games without scoring. That was his own words. He put as the title for the video.
Rasheed Wallace played in the NBA Finals with the Celtics, won a championship with Detroit. I think the guy knows a little something, don't you?
Had the pleasure of meeting Rasheed Wallace once, and he was a very, very nice guy.
Really?
Yes.
Dude, he was one of my favorite players at North Carolina. Him and Vince Carter together. Imagine that. I want to say Julius Peppers was on that team, too. I could be wrong. But I remember Julius, the defensive end for the Panthers. He played on that basketball team and, could legit dunk.
Jerry Stackhouse was on that team?
Stackhouse was the big one. Was Antoine Jameson probably was during that era?
I'm looking at 94-95 right now. I don't see Peppers or whoever you just mentioned.
Julius Peppers.
I see Pat Sullivan, Shammond Williams, Jeff McInnes, Donald Williams, Dante Calabria, Rasheed Wallace, Stackhouse, Serge Zwicker, and Octavius Barnes.
Wow. Yeah, Peppers was 2001, 2000. What year is that?
That was 94-95.
Oh, wow. So he was after.
But 93-94, we got Eric Montrose on that team with Rasheed Wallace.
Sorry, Peppers was 99. Apologize.
Yeah, so you got Stackhouse, Montrose, and Wallace.
Stackhouse, Rasheed Wallace?
Yep.
Wow. Who's the point guard? 94 UNC Tar Heels?
Guards are David Neal, Shammond Williams.
Shammond Williams was good.
Yeah, Jeff McGinnis, Donald Williams.
Two of them went pro.
Dante Calabria.
Wow.
Yeah, loaded.
Those were the good old days. Duke versus North Carolina.
Yeah, I shook Rasheed Wallace's hand and my hand disappeared.
He's like 6'10", isn't he?
Huge. He was watching his kid play an AAU game at my high school, but he couldn't have been nicer. I called him Mr. Wallace, trying to be nice, and he just stopped me immediately and goes, "Just call me Sheed, man. Just call me Sheed." I was like, "All right, Sheed it is."
All right, man. Rasheed Wallace, ball don't lie.
Sheed. Most technicals ever, probably?
Maybe. But, dude, do you know how many times in my life I have said the words, ball don't lie? He should copyright that. But, like, you ever, play a game or whatever, and you foul, and it's like, oh, that was bogus, and then they missed the free throw, and you're like, ball don't lie?
Ball don't lie.
Man, I wish I came up with that. I apologize, but I'm not sorry. Final headline of the night. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox lose 4-1 against the Phillies. The Celtics will play Game 3 tomorrow night. Kristaps Porzingis is day to day with a loss.
winning today.
On the Sports Hub.
Absolutely. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I've actually had a similar type of injury as a non-athlete with this tendon in my foot before. It afflicts some people who have flat feet, which I do, and it can affect your arches. And, Porzingis did have plantar fasciitis last summer. It prevented him from playing for his national team of Latvia. So it is, it's something that he's probably been monitoring for a while. I would also tell you it's a type of, at least when it was a tendonitis, it's something that takes a while to deal with. And if you listen to Joe Mazzulla there, it's very clear that they are preparing for the reality he may not be able to play. Now, what that would mean for the Celtics is simply more Al Horford. Al Horford has been excellent in the starting lineup. The positive here is it won't affect the way they've starting. This 9-game win streak that they've had in the postseason is all with Horford as the starter.
That was like a Tales from the Ring, but it was Tales from Windy.
Yeah, Windy. I broke my ankle once. Here we go now. I'm not flat-footed. I have a size 16 footer, but I broke my ankle once, Skaz, but it was more of a, they said it was an ankle sprain, but I broke bones and metatarsal bones in my foot. So I was dealing with an ankle sprain, but broke bones in my foot. So I had to deal with the sprained ankle and a broken foot, and it was like, which one hurts more? And to this day, it's the foot. Like, it's still the foot. So I've heard from a lot of people today. With Lifshatz and I were talking earlier about injuries and how it affects the betting line. And just for those who know, there's an article up on 985thesportshub.com that Kevin published, our intern, who now is inspired to write wrestling articles all of a sudden. So that is welcome on the show.
He did just tell me that he met Taco Fall at a wrestling event not too long ago.
Holy smokes.
Well, actually, I guess it was like 5 years ago, but still.
He's one of the 11 largest people in the world.
Yeah, Kevin said he shook his hand. Like, as I said the Rashid thing, he said, yeah, my arm disappeared.
Well, it's funny because I would ask Taco Fall a lot of questions if I met him. Like me, I can't fit in an airplane bathroom. What's he do? Because I know what Andre the Giant did.
Yeah, yes, I've heard those stories.
Yeah, what do you get, a 7-foot mail sack and step in it and take a dump? But, how does Taco Fall get into a car or an Uber? Does he have to get the XL every time?
You got to.
Who's paying for that? I mean, what's he doing? Is he on a team? He's the human cigar, right? That guy's the victory. When you're blowing out teams, you put him in the game. He's the human cigar.
Taco Fall is on the Piratas de... I can't pronounce. He's on a Puerto Rican basketball team.
He's getting paid by Puerto Rican basketball team. Good for him. He deserves it. He deserves it. But Windy, the betting line has moved. It's gone from 1.5 to now 2.5 since the Porzingis injury.
Just one thing we haven't mentioned on the Porzingis injury yet that kind of blew my mind. The Porzingis injury, they called it a rare injury. That's almost like doing it a disservice. Tom Westerholm had this.
Saw it, yeah.
A 2006 study said there were just 32 documented cases of a dislocated posterior tibial tendon in all of English literature. So what Kristaps Porzingis has an injury that only 32 people in recorded human history, have ever had. So that's pretty unlucky.
Is the bloody sock injury almost the same? I've heard that from some places. I don't know how accurate that is. But do you think the issue with his right leg had something to do with the issue with the left leg?
I mean, you always think they're kind of related. Maybe he was favoring it more because the other one was hurt. You hear that a lot. So I wouldn't rule it out, but I mean, I am the furthest thing from a doctor, so...
Yeah, my whole thing is just you can't control the situation. If it was me and I was Joe Mazzulla in the Celtics, I would go forward you can't use him. But if the medical team says, we think he's good.
I think it's if he can't injure it anymore, you send him back out there. If he can get hurt more, he doesn't play. And Schilling had a torn sheath of his ankle tendon sutured into place. So slightly different, I believe.
Yeah. And they won. And he was a hero.
And it was ketchup.
And now he is not a hero.
Not a hero. And just ask the good people of Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
JP and NP probably has some Kurt Schilling takes.
He's probably just pulled over on the side of the road pissed. Celtics are 2 wins away from hanging banner 18 in the history of the franchise. And Wick Grossbeck on Tuesday with the Boston Globe got into it with Luka Doncic. Of course, Doncic didn't realize it was him, but Grossbeck brought the team. He bought the team in 2002. Got a bunch of guys together. He goes, I don't want your lunch money or your college fund. You're all very well-to-do people. I want a small percentage of your net worth. You put it into the Celtics, and alongside me, I will run it, but I will treat you all like partners. But this is not about a percentage return or anything like that. This is about winning championships. So we will all be paid in enjoyment. We will be paid in parades. I like that. Great line. And Grossbeck, we remember, won in 2008 with Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. Grossbeck has managed to live up to that mantra in the decades he's served as governor of the team. Governor, not owner. Will also be tested in the near future. The new CBA means the Celtics will be paying more money than ever. Before, if he wants to keep the core together, they're already slated to set a record in luxury tax penalties next season, and the price is only going to increase with the potential extension of Derek White coming down to the pipeline this summer. But those are decisions for tomorrow. Grossbeck's tendency to back up those words with big checks as Boston is on the precipice of NBA history. Talking about contracts real quick, how does the extension for Porzingis look right now?
You win a title, it doesn't matter.
You're right. There's been many of a bad deal done, but it helped you win a championship.
If they pull a Sox and give them the Chris Sale deal after they win the title, then we have a problem.
Yep.
But that's not happening.
I'm under... True story. I'm under the assumption that Jason Tatum's going to get wrist surgery in the offseason and probably come back around Christmas.
I mean, he's needed it for a couple of years. So
he did the cortisone shot. And listen, I'm not making excuses for why his poor shooting, but the wrist is a thing. So he needs surgery on it. But if that's the case, he's going to miss what, till Christmas? And if Porzingis is out and needs surgery, when's he out till? Or is he out the whole year? Like, does he need a year to rehab? The guy's 7'4". He's had millions of injuries. You know what's another thing about that? I bet you there might be teams who'd want to take on that salary to maybe hit a floor or... Because what do you have? What do you sign, a 3-year extension? 4-year extension?
I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but do you think that factors in to them convincing one Al Horford to return next season?
Yeah, and he'll get a cheap,
I mean, we had Tom Giles on last week, and he said he thinks Horford is back.
That's
so
right.
Maybe that's already something that's been discussed, but maybe this makes it even more important.
Maybe we can get an article out of that one and throw Tom Giles' audio in there. Picking this all up, Kevin? Yeah. All right, well, we have a special whatever's going on tomorrow night. There's a lot going on here.
A lot going on.
So
big one.
We'll tell you what's going on tomorrow night, tonight, next.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub. Afternoons right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Did you see the old Belmont finish?
My dad had the trifecta. He was a pretty happy man.
I'm hot.
Joe Murray's picks. Hot on the horses.
I went 3-0, 4-0. Well, 3-0 with Florida Panthers pending.
Looking good. That St. Louis connection up 2-0.
Told you my palm was feeling it. Listen, the reason why I took that horse, Denorche, whatever, was because it didn't race in the Preakness or the Derby. And it wasn't a long-distance runner, and since it was at Saratoga this year, it was the fastest horse in the of all the horses. And it was 2-0. So I figured, all right, well, they're at Saratoga. It's not as long of a race as your typical Belmont. Let's ride the hot hand. Let's ride the horse. And baby, ka-ching, 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 bling, bling, ding, 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 ding. Whatever the lyrics are that we play for the song. Dollar, dollar. The Shane McMahon. Oh, yeah, I see Kevin back there.
Dornoch came in 10th in the Derby.
Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Cash is cash.
Listen, sometimes we work in facts and sometimes we work in takes. I won my bet, so whatever I thought it was, I won.
That's all that matters.
All right, he finished 10th in the Derby. I'm sorry.
I just knew you'd get a tweet about it, so.
Whatever. Oh, I haven't done that.
It's been a while.
You hear that? Someone said to stop talking about feet. All I said was I had a size 16 foot.
Yeah, there was a former host at this time that would do that much more often.
Oh. Okay.
One that Mark Feldman knows well.
Oh, okay. Well, tomorrow, what the hell is going on?
We got you covered. Pre-game, post-game, during the game, you name it.
I know that we're on until 1 a.m. We're going to be on the network until 8. Somebody's on the network until 8. And then Grandy takes over at 8:30, or at 8. And then we're on until 1 a.m.
And we'll be on the network until midnight.
And remember, tomorrow after the game, when you go to put the app on, you're not going to get us. You have to go to YouTube.
It will be on the app, but it usually takes a little bit to disconnect from the network.
So just go to YouTube.
Go to YouTube.
Just go to YouTube.
Get in the chat.
I'm going to make a prediction. I think the Celtics lose tomorrow.
I think if they lose a game in the series, it's tomorrow night.
I think Kyrie goes off for 25. And I got Jaden Hardy off the bench for the big night. I know you don't want to hear it, people. I got the Celtics in 5 anyways. Kevin, great job tonight. James, scary.